Hi everybody, this is Miss Peachy from your WCA Marine Science class, and I just wanted to give you a little video on what to do when you get to that marine science experiment part 1, 2, and 3 on your lesson planner. So I have dropped the marine science experiment part 1 for you. See, the whole problem with this is that the idea behind the way these are set up in your lessons is for you to design and conduct an original research project in marine science. And while it sounds like a really awesome thing to be able to do, just doing it at home without any resources and supplies and without, some sort of a really guided approach for your first research project is probably a little difficult and unrealistic. Not to mention the fact that we live in Wisconsin, so it's going to get cold pretty quick here. And many of us don't live in rural areas to be able to access, places to do the research. So it just becomes something where it's very difficult to be able to do. Because of that, what I've done is I've substituted the research project with a semester-long project that's slightly different. So for the first part of this, you're watching this video, and this is going to tell you what you need to do. And I'm going to direct you to our website. And when we get to our website, I'm going to kind of pull it over here to the screen. You'll see the video for the semester project. I'm actually re-recording the video that I had out there already because I want to update a few things here. And then you're going to see this little pop-out which gives you descriptions of the different projects you can do. Okay, so you have some options here. You can do a research paper on a marine organism, a poster or a PowerPoint presentation on a marine organism, a travel brochure, a marine region presentation, or something called the Regional Environmental Research Portfolio. Each one of these, whichever one you select, counts as a double portfolio grade. So when you go to your lesson planner, to the calendar, you'll notice we have Marine Science Experiment Part 1. So for this, I'm just going to have you watch the video, and you're going to be doing a survey for me because you're going to have to go through that, all the different project descriptions and kind of decide on which one you want to do. And then that survey, you'll let me know which one you plan on doing and kind of maybe what your topic would be. Then as you move forward through the calendar, when we get to the middle of November, so it's a ways away yet, you will see that you have Science Experiment Part 3, or Part 2, on the 18th of November. So that's when the first deadline is for this research project. Whatever you choose to do, I'd like it submitted by the 18th. If it doesn't get submitted by the 18th of November, then it's an overdue lesson, and you won't be able to move on from there. So I'll make sure it gets submitted there. I'm going to also add a custom assessment to the gradebook so that you get this is double weighted because it's quite a big project. So I want to make sure that you get rewarded for doing extra work here. Okay. Then what I'll end up doing is when you get to Marine Science Experiment Part 3, which happens later on, this is in December the 9th, then this will actually be dropped from the gradebook as well because you'll have the points from Marine Science Experiment Part 2, and then the custom assessment will then add additional points to the gradebook. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what this whole marine science experiment thing is that you're doing. So again, I'm going to go to that description page that I had of the 5 different projects you can choose from, and we'll briefly go over what these are. So the research paper project. Here you're going to pick an organism that lives in the oceans, and you're going to do a research paper on that organism. And you're going to answer these questions, these 7 questions from it. And you should include diagrams and photographs, but they don't count in the total number of pages, right? And you have to have at least 3 reference sources for this. So make sure you include at least 3 sources to use here. Okay, so you have some citations. There's a rubric. This doesn't format real well when you open it in this view, but if you download it, it formats a little bit better. Kind of telling you how it adds up to the total number of points that you'll receive here for this portfolio. So I'm at home and my cats are playing behind us, so apologize for that. So then we have the marine organism poster with presentation. It's pretty much the same thing. I say poster, but you can also do a PowerPoint presentation. So you can do either or here because, sometimes it's harder to do a poster if you're at home, but you can certainly do a poster and take a picture of that poster or, do some sort of a digital poster and send it to me. But again, it's pretty much the same thing where you're answering the same 7 questions, only you're doing this in PowerPoint or poster format. So again, bibliography is required here. Make sure you give me the bibliography. You're getting 20 points for the visuals here, pictures and stuff. I feel like when you're doing a PowerPoint like this, you should have a slide on every page or a picture on every slide, excuse me. So then moving on, something completely different. You're doing a travel brochure. And in your travel brochure, you can either send it in to me, or I've had people do digital brochures before using some program on the computer. And for this, it should look like a brochure, like a trifold brochure. And you are going to be looking at a specific region of the world that is near the ocean. So someplace that is like the Florida Keys, for example, you could do something for that, or you could do, someplace Hawaii, someplace that's near the ocean, because you're also going to then describe the conditions of the ocean nearby and some of the aquatic organisms that are found nearby and that kind of stuff. So all the different pieces of information right here are the ones that need to be included in this brochure along with pictures. The other option is doing the marine region presentation. Okay, so here you're going to be picking a region. It says you have discovered a new marine region and need to share this information with the scientific community. In the order for the World Oceanographers Society to consider your discovery significant, you need to provide them with accurate and complete information about this newfound area. In order for the region to be of value to the society, it must be located within 2 miles away from any major coastlines. So in this one, you are going to be, this is a presentation, so you can do a PowerPoint presentation here. You're going to provide this information and a map of the newly discovered region, the topography of the ocean floor. So it kind of lists all the different things that you would need to include, including pictures and captions for the pictures and things like that. And again, you can see the grading here with the questions answered, visuals, and bibliography included. Now we have the Regional Environmental Research Portfolio. This is the final project that you can choose from. So you're either going to choose a specific region of the world's oceans, or you may choose to discuss topographical areas of a specific region. For example, the abyssal plains, the coral reefs, the mid-ocean ridges, where there are environmental problems that plague that area. So think about not just the area, but some environmental problems that might plague the area. Coral reefs is a great example of this. Maybe you could talk about, for example, looking at the kelp forest could be a great example of this. So you have to address some environmental problem the area has. So you have a page summary of your marine region, where it's located, how it's formed, what organisms live there, the temperature and sunlight, environmental problems that face that region. And then you need to find articles that actually discuss that region and the problems related to that region. So, a lot of people do things like, how global warming is impacting the coral reefs, or how ocean acidification is affecting, maybe some other ocean organisms at the bottom of the ocean, the benthic zone. Maybe you could do something about runoff, in estuaries and things like that. So trying to find some articles that are dealing with that particular environmental problem, and then you give a 4 to 6 sentence summary for each article. Okay, so just news articles for those. You don't have to look up special research articles on EBSCO or anything, just general news articles. Then, of course, a bibliography. Okay. So this can be done as a PowerPoint presentation. You may also do this as a paper. It does say must be put into a PowerPoint presentation here, but if you choose to do it as a paper, that is fine too. So one-page summary is 30 points. The 10 articles are 50 points. Visuals and PowerPoints are 10 points, and bibliography is 10 points. Okay, so those are the ones you need to decide among. So what I need you to do this week for Science Experiment Part 1 is just to go to my website. After you've reviewed all those project descriptions, kind of decide which one you want to do and maybe what your topic will be. And then click on the link here for the project survey. And that's going to take you to a Google survey that I have. And you're just going to answer this. Okay. Put your name on it, first and last name, please. And then just decide which one you want to do and, which organism you're going to report on or what region you're going to report on. Okay. If you were able to find all the project descriptions, just to make sure that you all are kind of starting to think about this essentially. Okay. And then the actual project would be due on November 11th. Remember, that's when we want that to be turned in by with the Science Experiment Part 2. So you're going to want to start working on that sometime soon because you have about a month to complete it. Okay, so hopefully that all makes sense, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you're having a good day.